And that is why Jurassic World was a better trailer than Fantastic Four.
Fuck
so don't even try that on me again.
That's true.
That is a scientific fact.
I am an engineer and a goddamn scientist, and I say you're full of
guys.
Welcome to the Movie Minute. Actually, no.
Malengo, you look a little different.
Oh, God.
You look a little different, Malengo. So do you, Ashley and Sorg. This is weird.
This is fucked up. But yeah, this is actually the NXT Lucha Underground Smackdown. Whatever is happening in between sometimes within the midweek-s time, because it's midweek war, or otherwise known as...
The midweek war!
I was going to give you a chance.
Just see your face twitching, Mike.
I was winding up for it, Eamon, and you were blue balling me the whole time.
Of all the times I've hosted this, and my spectacular jobs of hosting it, you should trust me by now. But hey, it is the midweek wars for this week. Joining us as always, Mad Mike. How are you this evening?
I am fantastic. Because we had a lot of good wrestling this week.
We did have a lot of good wrestling this week, and there was definitely a lot to talk about this week. Also joining us is one Matt Carlins, Mainstream Matt.
How you doing? I'm back.
He's back. And also another one that joins us every week to fill that Lucha Underground demographic with a better understanding of Lucha than any of us here. It's Tonio Garza.
Hey, what's up, guys? If my eyes seem red, it's because I was crying of sheer happiness after Lucha Underground today.
It got really emotional.
Yes.
It got really, really emotional. But before we get into that, I guess we should start things off with SmackDown for this week. Tony, you're going to head that one up. SmackDown. Yes. What would be your one word for SmackDown this week?
Didn't really think about it for one word. So I'll just go ahead and say Kane. Yeah, Kane.
Kane works.
Yeah.
So going into it, what is the one good thing about SmackDown this week? Maybe not the one good thing, but your good thing.
Okay, my good thing is actually Kane. He's so underrated when it comes to his mic work, like his microphone work. His opening promo and just interaction with Rollins, how he came out, like he started like really calm, and then he went into like crazy Kane. It was just like he's really, really good at what he does. Like I could believe that he one day could be a general manager, and I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least from the stuff on. Yeah, at least from the stuff recently on Raw, like Kane's been, at least from a promo aspect, has been warming to me, which is easy.
His work on Raw was good, and like today on SmackDown was really good too. Like I really like his voice.
Sweet. Awesome. So, what would be your one bad thing about SmackDown this week?
My one bad thing. Okay. Why was Roman Reigns in the main event? Like it made no sense.
Do you really have to ask this question?
No, I know the answer, but I mean it's the go home SmackDown for Extreme Rules. We're trying to promote like Randy Orton versus Rollins. We're trying to promote Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper, and then there's Roman Reigns and no Big Show. Like so.
And especially after the whole thing with the car, like I feel like the best thing would be to keep Roman like.
Plus, this is the first time that Roman's gotten his hands on Seth since WrestleMania. Like, you'd think they'd want to delay that a little bit.
Not only that, I mean, spoilers. He pinned him. He pinned the champion.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Something looks something.
Yeah. So that's my bad. Roman Reigns had nothing to do in that main event. Awesome. And also, I particularly hate it every time they have the Shield interact without an actual storyline behind it.
Yeah. It's like when they had just random matches with the Wyatts. And
yeah. Exactly.
Like, this should mean something.
Yeah. This could be made pay-per-view quality stuff, you know?
Definitely.
That's my bad.
And what is the one thing you would change this week?
Okay, my only change actually. According to rumors, the Wade Barrett versus Daniel Bryan match is in jeopardy because Daniel Bryan may be injured.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't announced anything, but I'm pretty sure they just telegraphed that it's going to be Neville versus Barrett for the title. And I'm pretty sure, and like, I don't think they're going to, it's weird that they're going to give the title to Neville, but I think the thing here kind of telegraphs this. Unless they do like the opposite momentum rule and they just give it to Barrett again.
Yeah, I think Neville could benefit from this a lot by winning it. I think I think if they just put it back on Barrett, it's kind of like, oh well,
we're back to the start. Yeah, back to the start.
You guys think it's gonna be for the title? I think they could just do that as a straight one-on-one match.
They could.
They could. But if Daniel Bryan's gonna be out for several weeks, maybe months, they're gonna need to vacate the title.
The amount of time I heard, I think, was around a month.
A month? Okay.
So, yeah, it could be. It would be a debated thing. I could definitely see both sides of it. But I do think it would be a good thing to maybe give, like, we always talk about, like, Neville's been growing in popularity, but he's never really gotten the big win. And I feel like putting the Intercontinental title on him, even if it's just for a short reign, even if it's just something to, like, I think it could bring some prestige to the Intercontinental title. Doing something like that reminds me of like when Edge won the title like back in like '99 when he was like maybe like a year in or so and people didn't expect it. Mm-hmm. And I think he only held it for like a couple days or whatever, but it was still. I think
it was only a day because he won it from Jeff Jarrett and then he lost it the next day, right?
Yeah, I think on a pay-per-view. But yeah, like that's cool. Like because I think giving it to somebody that young, Neville could use that and do some cool stuff with it. And I feel like a feud between Neville and Barrett could be really fun.
Or Neville and Daniel Bryan once he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my change is just like not telegraph it. Like make it a surprise for the pay-per-view.
I gotta say, Neville hit the best looking red arrow on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, he had a real.
Because he like bounced up off when he hit Barrett and still landed in a pin. It was picture perfect. Also, if we're gonna move on from SmackDown, I gotta give a shout out to all the promo work. The primetime players were awesome. Even the Big Show promo about Roman Reigns was really good.
Awesome. So, for those watching this at home, would you recommend they watch SmackDown this week?
Yeah. The main event was really, really good. Like, I promote that, even if it has Roman Reigns, which should.
From the way it seemed like a really fun episode. So.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. It's a good go-home show for Extreme Rules, to be honest.
Awesome.
Actually, it was a better go-home show than Raw.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Sweet. So, going into more WWE stuff and going into NXT this week, me and Matt Carlins will be tag teaming this one, going into stuff. Matt, I'll ask you first. What is your one word for this week for NXT?
Rage!
All right, so some rage.
That's all. Eamon, did you have a one word for NXT?
Oh God. Quality, and I kind of want to. I want to say match quality, but obviously that's two words. Unless you want to hyphen it, whatever. We don't have distinct rules here. But yeah, we'll probably touch on that a bit. Going into, I'll give you the first one, Matt. What is your one good for NXT this week?
Pretty obvious that it was Sami Zayn pulling off the second most holy shit dive of the week on the week, but still pretty good on Kevin Owens and a gaggle of what I presume was NXT developmental talent in their NXT warm-up jackets.
I believe Logan Schuler was one.
WWE Performance Center young boys were out there trying to break up the Owens-Sammy brawl and got jumped on for their troubles. And they broke the barricade, too. That's not bad by NXT standards.
Yeah, that was a fun ending to the show. I thought it was really good. I love that.
And it was good to hear the crowd excited for Sammy, because I get worried that it's been so long that they had just decided, well, we'll take this guy who kicks Sammy's ass and we'll cheer for him instead.
Yeah.
I want everyone to still be behind Sammy, so hopefully that stays.
Definitely. My one good for NXT this week, beyond the stuff after the main event, would be the three-way number one contenders match for the women's title between Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Charlotte. Really fantastic stuff. Continually, Corey Graves does a really good job of putting over the fact that like these guys, they go out there and they steal the show, and he does a really good job of putting over their abilities. But this was a fantastic match. Really, really great stuff all around. I love the ending with Charlotte locking in the figure eight, as it's now being called, and Becky Lynch sneaking in with the pin on Bayley. I think that was really fun. I'm really starting to enjoy Becky Lynch. I think her character is kind of becoming a bit more defined as far as her motivations and stuff like that. I still think Charlotte and Bayley are just amazing, and their work is just a cut above. Also, really love the backstage promo with Becky Lynch and Sasha, with Sasha mocking Becky's accent, which is pretty amazing.
Oh my god. I want a videotape of just Sasha mocking everyone on the NXT roster. I really do. Like, I think she could just do everyone's voice.
This was the most, as far as like backstage promos go, this was actually the most like comfortable Sasha's looked, and I feel like that's because notably like she had a bit of a friendship with Becky, both in character and also in real life in the IRL. But yeah, that was a really fun match, and it's one to definitely seek out. So, Matt Carlins, what would be your one bad for this week?
It's hard to pick out anything, but I'll tell you that I get annoyed whenever it was Rhino versus the local competitor who doesn't even get a name. I just think wrestlers deserve a name, Eamon.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know how much more to elaborate on that, but I think wrestlers deserve names.
But you know what? If you get yourself over enough during a match, even like that, the crowd will give you a name.
I mean, he was wearing
That's
blue
true.
pants.
They will chant you whatever you're wearing, whatever color you're wearing. The crowd will dub you that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we've seen them do that, not just with blue pants, but with other people as well. Because if you don't give us a name, we'll make one up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, who was Stan Stansky? Was that the actual name, or was that one we made up?
That was one that they gave us.
Oh, okay. That was the actual name. Okay.
That was back when they would just make up random names and put in other people's titles on Raw.
Yeah, he fought Ryback killed him.
Yeah.
Ryback guys.
I wonder what Stan Stansky is in nowadays. But
well, how about you? How about your bad thing, Eamon?
Going into my bad for this week, which is an extension of my bad from last week. Dana Brooke got a backstage promo. It wasn't great. It's her playground and playtime's over, I guess. I don't know. It was very all over the place. I hope she gets better. I'll say what I said last week. I hope she gets better.
I mean, she has the look and she has charisma. No, I mean that sincerely. Like, she does. Yeah. She definitely has an on-screen presence, which is not something that can be said for a lot of people right away.
Can you say you can't teach that?
I was actually going to bring up Carmella. Yes!
I feel like Carmella.
Teach that.
I much prefer Carmella's backstage segment this week as opposed to Dana Brooks, though.
Yeah, this week was good, but every other time has not been the best.
Yeah, I mean, Carmella by herself is not that good.
Yeah. My biggest thing with it was, and we kind of talked about this before we started the show, was compare it to Kevin Owens' promo where he actually kind of interacted. He kind of interacted with Devin Taylor. Dana Brooke was like kind of cutting her own promo, and she was like not even paying attention to her. Like it was. Well,
let's be honest, though. I mean, Devin Taylor ain't gonna do you any favors during the backstage interview segments.
Yeah. Devin Taylor has potential. Devin Taylor.
I'll take Dana Brooke over Devin Taylor on the potential.
Really, even with whatever the hell Dana is doing with her hair, like it's like curled up on like one corner and then like it's hairs. I'm not a fan of Dana Brooke.
Nitpicking over things that don't need to be nitpicked over. We got to get down to the basics and everything. And as far as like whether Dana Brooke will improve, of course she's going to improve.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
But to agree with Mike, she does have a little bit of intangible to build off of, and she definitely isn't afraid to be out there on stage. She might not be saying or doing the things that make the most sense in the world, but she's doing it with conviction, and she's doing it with some sort of confidence. You can tell that bodybuilding background has given her a little bit of a performance, foundation to build off of.
Yeah, she's a performer. She doesn't have any substance yet, but you can tell that once they give her a direction, she could be really, really good.
Yeah.
But can I just say, I want a spoken word album of just Kevin Owens commenting on things.
Yeah.
Like, just something that if I'm walking around, like, it'll be like, you guys feel a draft? And just leave it hanging there. And don't let it pay off anything, even though you guys saw he said he was getting a coat.
There's something, okay, so he's gonna eventually have some match where that comment's gonna like pay off, and it's gonna actually, that comment's gonna actually mean something, because right now he just randomly said that there was a draft in the room for no reason, but it was amazing. But yeah, going into Matt, what's the one thing you would change about NXT this week?
Just one little thing, and I hate to nitpick on the three-way wins match because it was awesome, but I would have liked to have seen Becky Lynch's finisher at the very end. Mm-hmm. I think she could have just broken up the figure eight, pushed Charlotte out to the outside, and put her finisher onto Bayley. At least then it gives her a little bit of extra ammunition for that match against Sasha. It gives her one more spot to build off of. I don't even know what her finisher is, but I just would have liked to have seen it. Is it that wrap her leg around her thing?
It's basically Corey Graves' old finisher, which goes to my theory as to why Corey Graves hates Becky Lynch.
I don't know. I like the finish though, because especially with the added oomph of the figure eight, where Charlotte can't see what's going on. That to me is what made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I would have changed of that is, instead of being like a fluke win for Becky, like make her a heel tactic and just pin her.
I think there is an intention though when like Corey Graves they have to kind of try to play up the fact that she has gotten lucky. Like a lot of people, like when she
she is Irish, Eamon.
Well, not for those reasons. Oh God.
Yeah.
Totally for those reasons, but they even brought it up in the four-way match at Takeover, which was like, why is she even getting this match? Just because she and Sasha beat down, like she kind of weaseled her way in. Like it wasn't because she got a big win or anything. So I think this is going to be more about Becky Lynch trying to prove herself, hopefully, and I think that will kind of go over in the match with Sasha Banks. My one thing that I would change this week, and I guess you can't really change it now, which is sad. I'm sad that CJ Parker's not going to be around anymore. Because
you might see him next week.
Well, we might see him next week, but last week I actually my best last week was his match with Solomon Crowe, and I really thought his match with Hideo Itami this week was really good. It's very unfortunate, and there were people in the crowd cheering for. There was a dueling chant for Hideo and CJ Parker, like that's crazy. And
it's almost like they finally figured out what to do with him, but a little too late.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. I'm really starting to enjoy CJ, and I know in the back of my head we're not going to get to see him anymore eventually.
And especially, I mean, it was Earth Day. That should have been a thing.
Yeah.
That should have been a thing. It
Yeah.
really that should have been a thing. It really should have.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting because we asked this as the big question on the Wrestling Mayhem show a couple weeks back, whether it's better to win on the Indies or lose on NXT or in WWE, and CJ Parker is like going to be our test case for that. Poor CJ Parker's done nothing but lose on NXT, and he's off to the Indies or wherever, where I presume he will start to win.
Mm-hmm. And I actually didn't know CJ Parker had like a little bit of past experience on the Indies, like for like maybe like a year or so.
Yeah.
I had no idea until he kind of made his new realm, and people were talking about, oh, he used to wrestle on the Indies. But yeah, I'm very unfortunate, and I actually kind of want to follow CJ's career on the Indies now because like, I want to see what he does. Cause
I just hope he doesn't go like Captain Planet gimmick. Just total Captain Planet.
He was at
Palm Strike.
last week's
Palm Strike finisher on the
CW
Indies.
show.
Yeah, he got booked like everywhere, like within like a week of him like leaving NXT. So I'm interested because like I said, those last two matches he's had has both been really, really good. So yeah. Matt, would you recommend people watch NXT this week?
Absolutely, it was very good this week, and I'm very much looking forward to Tyler Breeze versus Finn Balor, which we didn't mention.
Definitely. Yeah. Going back, like you mentioned, like jobbers, like with the Rhino match. At least Ty Dillinger got to like get some stuff in on Finn Balor, and I thought he looked pretty good. Like the crowd kind of stood on him.
There's just something always like kind of like you sense something whenever they keep running the same guy out there over and over again to lose. Like Ty Dillinger gets this every single week. Come on out here, Ty Dillinger. You're the new CJ Parker. You're gonna get.
Yeah. I thought Ty did well though of like selling his fear, like going into the match like against because it's Finn freaking Balor. Like come on, but no, it was good stuff.
It was funny to see them because Finn came out first, and of course Rich and Corey get to like gush over his entrance, and the next thing you know, you hear like I don't know random guitar song, and here comes Ty Dillinger just walks out of the ring. I was like.
Well,
do something, Ty. Pose. Do something.
But yeah, definitely. And I would agree. Definitely watch NXT this week. So going into the.
By the way, you guys forgot about one very important thing on NXT.
I thought we covered pretty much everything, but what's that?
We're gonna get Prince Pretty versus Finn Balor, you guys.
That's true. Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
We did slightly mention that, but I'm very excited for that as well because. Tyler Breeze having more matches against guys like that is great stuff.
I actually think this is going to be good for Balor because his promo work hasn't been his best side, and Breeze does bring that out of the guys, like more promo work.
That's true. I think Balor has a lot of potential to be.
I really hope we get a point where, like, Breeze is taking a selfie, and then you get the Demon Balor like behind him.
It's like one of those crappy horror movies where like you take a picture, but there's like a ghost in the background. But no, going into one of the most anticipated shows that we get to talk about every week, but especially this week.
Holy shit!
Lucha Underground for this week. Mike, let's get into this. What is your no palabra for Lucha Underground?
Perfect.
Pretty accurate. It's a pretty perfect show.
Perfect.
All
right. Well, for Lucha Underground, mi bueno is the entire hour. More specifically, I will say the swerve.
Mm-hmm.
The swerve at the end of the first trios match, because when the trios tournament was happening, I wanted to look up the guys in Big Ric Steam, and I looked up Deadshot. Killshot. Excuse me, I keep getting confused with
Marvel
DC characters. But and I looked up Killshot, and Wikipedia, you son of a bitch, spoiled me.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
It spoiled me that Angelico, Ivelisse, and Son of Havoc won the Triple Threat Trios match.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not looking forward to this because I actively avoid spoilers for Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Actively avoid it just because they tape so far in advance that you have to avoid it. And I wasn't looking that forward to it. And when they won the match, because I watched it on DVR, so I didn't know how much time I had left on my program.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Dario Cueto came out, I'm like, oh, that's good. He's coming out to oh wait, what?
Yeah, it's very shocking. It's very
What?
shocking when the trios match ends and you kind of look down and you see like, oh, there's more time on this. Like,
yeah,
like I
event
didn't
promo. That's what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, even for a second,
man.
I thought they were gonna do Drago versus Prince Puma.
Puma.
Yeah, I was like, there's enough time for Drago versus Prince Puma.
But oh man,
thought
because
that-
I didn't look down. No. Oh, I was just gonna say I didn't look down at the time, and when he said it was going to be that who I'm calling Dysfunctrios.
Dysfunctions.
What do you think? Good?
Very nice.
Bueno, malo?
I'm gonna have to see you spell that.
I already did on the
Not
Twitter,
now, just-
on the live Twitter feed last night. But when he said it was going to be them versus the Crew in an ODQ match, I flipped my fucking lid because I was sure the Crew was going to win that. I was dead set.
The best thing is this is what I love about Lucha Underground, because I think it was either last week or a couple weeks ago on the show, we brought up the Trios tournament and we said, wait, where the hell is the Crew? Like, did they just forget about the Crew? And it's clear that they didn't. They were just, there's a purpose for everything.
And it makes so much sense because they've been Dario's back pocket the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thought just like that little promo by Dario was like just spot on. He comes out, he's like, I can't believe you won.
His facial expressions were fantastic. His face told the story.
Definitely.
Really good.
I love that, because as far Lucha Underground, I think, here's my thing. I don't mean to rant about this, but like when people talk about like negativity towards mainstream wrestling, the reason I think a lot of us are not really negative on Lucha Underground is that they've kind of earned our trust. Like, and they've shown that like things will pay off. The Angelico Ivelisse Son of Havoc storyline was at a point where it wasn't that good, and we talked about it on the show.
It wasn't bad for several weeks.
It had some bad like opening moments, but it paid off in the end.
Like,
so
honestly,
huge.
It's like a lucha rom-com. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing the turnaround they did in those last two matches with those three. Like, it's phenomenal. Like, Son of Havoc literally saving his ex-girlfriend who he dumped very, very viciously. Like, mind blown. Like, that's when you have like Coldplay coming in at the end with a love theme, and you see the credits roll.
and
the motivations of everyone were very specifically not explicitly stated. I mean, I think Stryker did a good job of keep telling people, look, they want these titles because it's the prestige, it's the money, and he keeps downplaying, oh, these guys are friends now. No, he keeps that seed planted that, look, they may not be totally best friends yet, so there's still like a bond there that is not fully formed, even though they won the titles.
Yeah. Also, one more important thing to note about that match that I don't think a lot of people actually know about, and I only found out about afterwards. So much credit has to go to Ivelisse, because the injury that she is playing off is a legitimate injury that she got from an event before that. So they basically worked around it, but it worked. Like, it was a really, and she worked the match with like a fucked up ankle, and it was, but it played up so well, and it was amazing.
Yeah, because when she stood up with that kendo stick, oh my god! Like, first it was, all right, we didn't even mention it. Fucking Angelico, man.
Fucking Angelico.
Like, when they were fighting up to the top of the platform, like the platform where everyone jumps off of, I'm like, oh no, he's gonna fly back the fuck in, isn't he? And holy shit, like, perfect camera angle. He hit his mark instantly. It was the best spot I've seen in months.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, kudos to Stryker and Vampiro, because they sold it perfectly. Like, right before the jump, they showed like the team that was sold down. They show Angelico just in the corner, defeated, and like Stryker's telling you like, what are these guys gonna do? And then pan out, fucking Angelico flies.
Yep.
And Vampiro starts running around the ring like a crazy man.
Guys, better
Did
spot.
he really?
Yes, he dropped the headphones. He ran to the other side of the ring, and then he came back. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he has.
I guess I can watch it.
Yes.
All right, guys, better spot. Angelico flying off like that, or the RKO from WrestleMania?
Oh god, Angelico. I love the RKO spot is great, but
Okay, yeah.
there's nothing that's topping that. Because when Johnny Mundo did it, like
You knew he was
or
gonna
so
do it.
ago, yeah, and it was. I mean, he had parkour experience.
I was
so
gonna say we kind of expect it from Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
Well, what about when Drago did the one? Drago came down, like, face planted himself through the table the one time.
Yeah. I was more
That
terrified.
thing is getting to be like a reputation. The top of Dario's office is
Yeah.
quite the location.
I just imagine Dario like in his office and all this noise in his roof, like.
Wait, is that Dario's roof? I thought Dario's roof was on the other side.
No, that's
I
Dario's
thought
office.
it was just a platform.
Well, I don't know if it's a platform. I mean, it is a platform, but it's positioned.
I
above
don't think
Dario's
that's the top of.
office.
I don't think that's the top of Dario's office.
No,
Well, I think
the platform is next to the commentator's table.
Yeah, it's next to the commentator's table, which Dario's office is on the other side. Anyway, we're getting into the logistics of the. All right,
But it's fantastic. Is there a bad Malo this week?
I will say so. Yeah. Mimalo. And I just had it and I lost it. The Black Lotus stuff. Seemed very out of place. It seemed out of place this episode. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. If you had it like in the middle of the show, I think that would have been better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if we started off with Sexy Star and Pentagon, and then you do that. Like I understand, how they frame the episode and everything. It just seemed a little out of place because by the time we got to the end of the show, I completely forgot about all that stuff. I completely forgot about it because the rest of the show was so damn good.
Yeah.
I
thought you were going to give it to the cameraman during the Johnny Mundo Alberto Patron backstage segment. That shit made me dizzy.
No, I thought that was fine. I want to see Johnny Mundo recreate every single Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah.
Because that is about the level of acting chops that he has, but it's perfect for that level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Patron is mind-blowing. He's the best actor in Lucha Underground, heads and tails, above everyone else. And Johnny Mundo is just like, have you guys seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Okay.
Chris Evans' character in that is Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna hear 2 clicks, me clicking, me hanging up the phone, me hitting you. Like, I need to see him just deliver horrible punchlines. Like, I almost want them to call him Johnny Hollywood. I know that's not a thing, but I want that to be his gimmick. Yeah, I mean that's really the only bad thing about Lucha Underground was just the placing of that.
What would be the one thing? What would be your? What is it? Cambio. I always forget every week.
Mi Cambio. As much as I love the finish to Sexy Star and Pentagon, I would have had every single jobber that Pentagon broke their arm. I wanted them to come out with casts on and just beat the fuck out of them.
That literally happened in WCW in 2000.
Yes, but I know, but at least this time it would make sense. Because Pentagon broke everyone's arm. If they all came out, either that or Melissa Santos helping Sexy Star win.
I did like the fact that they played up that Melissa Santos was like cheering on Sexy.
Oh yeah, she was super excited that Sexy Star won that match. Like that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Was she actually injured in the last show, or is this just like playing?
They said she hurt her ankle, which I don't think she actually did, but like it was good that they were playing it up.
Yeah.
Well, she was running in heels, so
yeah.
It could happen. But she's tough as nails, man.
Can I also note one more thing about that trios match that I want to reiterate?
Oh, absolutely. We can unpack it a little.
Oh my god. Matt Striker and Vampiro do an amazing job this episode. I feel like they're really starting to hit their strides.
Oh shit! There's one other thing I forgot to mention. I'll wait for you to finish though.
At the end, Matt Striker does an amazing job of putting over Angelico and saying that he has become a star now. Like he's more than just like a whatever. How Ivelisse is groundbreaking and is trailblazing for women in wrestling, and it's so convenient. And I don't know if this was like post taped or if it was when they actually filmed it. But him talking about Son of Havoc. about how there were so many people out there who said that he would never be anything and how he didn't have it.
Yeah.
I felt that was so convenient. Because we mentioned that Lucha Underground features a couple alumni from a certain WWE reality television program that's coming back soon. I felt that was just perfect. It was, and it was like it wasn't like Matt Striker being like "fuck you WWE" direct, like obviously, but it was like a little thing that was like.
Oh well, he does that a lot though.
Yeah.
I don't think that was post-tape at all. I think that was just in with what he said.
Yeah, and it fit though, because it's like Son of Havoc's character has grown from the very beginning, and it's it's wonderful. It was just really wonderful.
By the way, Ivelisse hurting her leg on Tough Enough might have been the best move for her career.
Possibly.
Because I think she would have won Tough Enough, honestly. I truly think that because she was great on Tough Enough, and Austin loved her on Tough Enough. Austin loved her, like, he thought that she had a lot of potential on that show. But
she used to be amazing. In FCW, she was amazing.
I was gonna say she had a brief run in NXT when it first started in Full Sail, and then they let her go, which was really unfortunate.
Yeah, but one thing I didn't mention, motherfucking Daivari.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize that guy. I knew he was someone because they'd shown him for the past couple weeks, and it didn't click in my brain. Until he stood up and Matt Striker called him the Shah, I'm like, oh my god, that's motherfucking Daivari.
And Daivari got a huge pop.
Oh my god, and Daivari Tejano? Yes, please. Absolutely. Yes. We need to light that up.
It's funny how, like, casually they, like... I mean, you talk about the Black Widow segment getting lost in the shuffle earlier in the show. Like, Daivari's debut, like, or starting that fight with the Tejano got lost in the shuffle. By the end of the show, you'd forgotten that had even happened. You have to kind of almost, like, rewind it a little bit in your head to even remind yourself that it went down.
And I do like how they booked that trios team losing, because Cage still looked really good. Cage wasn't involved in the decision at all, and it took a lot to bring down Cuerno.
Yeah,
I would have actually switched the teams. I think it would have been better to first eliminate Ric's team the same way. And
I can see what you're saying, because it feels like if Son of Havoc's team was to overcome like a big obstacle for a surprise, I guess it would make more sense for it to be Cuerno's team. But I mean, I think it works from the fact that Big Rick is played up as such a monster, and those guys are, Cuerno's team is like heavyweight or Lucha Underground Championship contender guys. I think it was even big for like Killshot to get a pin on Tejano. I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. The weird thing for me is I see Daivari and I don't see him as a face. Like, I see Daivari and I'll see a heel forever. So I feel it's weird to turn Tejano face, so I just feel like they should have done the Daivari attacking Mac, for instance, and doing that.
I feel like I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Daivari, because I felt like he was in the crowd sort of watching. I forgot whose match he was watching like a couple weeks ago, but I had a feeling he was going to be like in a manager kind of role. But he seems like he's going to be more active, which is cool.
I mean, we should mention the Great Khali and Lucha Underground beat him.
Riz.
Oh my god!
I
that
know
would be amazing.
It was in Brandon's review of Lucha, but he said if Prince Puma ever fought Great Khali, it'd be like Rocket versus Groot, and I can't help but agree, and now I fucking need to see that.
Speaking real quickly of Brandon's column, also him referring to Angelico as Lean Ambrose is my favorite thing.
So good. But he's not really like Ambrose though, because Ambrose doesn't do the sex appeal thing, whereas Angelico is all about, hey, you all want to fuck me.
Dean Ambrose doesn't do the sex appeal thing intentionally.
No, but it's there.
But it's
well, yeah.
Ask Mrs. Matt Carlin.
Ask any woman between the age of 35 and
ask anyone who has Jen Carlin's cell phone number how many pictures they receive of Dean Ambrose on a near daily basis. But Angelico does it more outwardly. Like I feel like he's kind of like a Shawn Michaels hybrid. Like Shawn was always putting it out there, like, "Hey, let's fuck."
Hands off the merchandise.
Exactly.
Hey.
Oh, by the way,
replaced with "Hey, let's fuck."
Should you watch Lucha Underground this week? You should watch it twice.
Yes.
I'll raise it.
Watch it twice.
I will be going to do my second viewing afterward. So, yeah.
But yeah, this was hands down, I think, the best episode Lucha Underground has ever done so far.
Really fantastic stuff.
Better than Aztec Warfare. Better than
Warfare?
I'd say better than Aztec Warfare. Better than the Grave Consequences. Better than the cage match. I thought this was amazing because it told a story within a night. Not just like a culmination of a story, but it told a whole story within a night. Like, they flipped me on the storyline I have hated the most in Lucha Underground. They completely
it was the most feel-good show we've had since they started. It just felt really good for both Sexy Star and the trio.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And gotta say, ladies, giving luchadores a chance.
Absolutely, that is giving luchadores a chance. I've read some other reviews. Just browsing reviews online of people reviewing Lucha Underground, and it really kind of that upsets me. But there are so many people that review it like it's any other wrestling show, and it's so much more than that. So you have to approach it from such a different viewpoint. There were some people that didn't like the Sexy Star Pentagon match because they're like, well, Pentagon's been built as this monster, but it works.
But that's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point. Like, that's Squirrel Girl fighting Galactus. That's what that shit is. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Lucha Underground is done by the guys who did Survivor and From Dusk Till Dawn. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the kind of stuff you're getting. It's not guys who have been in the wrestling business for years. It's guys who know how to actually tell stories and how to cut a program in order to tell a story. Like, you watch Survivor will suck you in even if you hate every single person on that show.
Mm-hmm. And like, take Pentagon, for example. Like, Pentagon doesn't have to fall into that realm of, like, any other kind of heel. Like, his thing is that, you know, he enjoys breaking other people's arms. And the whole story was that, I mean, really, that submission hold's been what he's, to my knowledge, all that he's used to win matches. Mm-hmm. And it's more about that than anything else. And the fact that Sexy kept escaping it tells a story. And I like Mike mentioned, like, they are giving women the opportunity to hold their own against men, and not even hold their own, but just be on the same level. The whole Sexy Star, I maybe like they briefly mentioned it on commentary, but I don't think they really even played up the fact that Sexy Star is a woman, because you don't have to play that up, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. And going by what Mike was saying, they also have the backing of AAA, and AAA has always put the woman on the same level. They always have mixed, breaking the kayfabe here. Pentagon Jr. and Sexy Star are mixed tag team champions over there. They have a mixed tag team division.
Don't want both AAA and Lucha Underground and storyline stuff to get fucked up, but yeah.
It'll mess you up.
But no,
that explains why they work so well together, though.
Yeah. There's actually one of the biggest heels in Mexico right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sexy Star is such a heel, in AAA.
Well, the name kind of implies that she'd be a heel too, but
yeah, she's very much above herself, kind of, you know.
Yeah, but
she's like
Brooke.
She's like the Dana Brooke.
Well done. Well done. Yeah,
sorry. We took that all the way around, guys. I think we deserve a round of applause for that.
Definitely. Sort of wrapping up with this, Lucha Underground is the winner. I mean,
clearly, yeah.
I didn't get to watch SmackDown, but it sounds like SmackDown was really good, and also NXT it's the best NXT has been in a little while now. So
If you haven't watched NXT, you have to watch the Kevin Owens promo.
Mhm.
So good.
But this was a solid week for the midweek war, I think.
Yeah,
Up and down the whole
And
thing.
that's only because we don't have TNA on it.
Thank Christ. Oh Jesus, I'd feel so bad about that knockout show coming up. But hey, women's wrestling, all the great stuff we talked about women on this episode. Go watch TNA and tell us what you think.
I'll tell you on Tuesday, man.
Oh boy! Speaking of Tuesday, you can join us every Tuesday night at live.sorgatronmedia.com for the Wrestling Mayhem show, as well as the Indie Mayhem show immediately following. There's also various other shows on the Sorgatron Media Network before that: Movie Minute, Awesome Cast. I was gonna say Let's Play. Boss Battle. Sorry, the name changes. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. You can go donate to us on Patreon. More information on that's at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can go buy our T-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. That's another great way to support the Wrestling Mayhem Show and all of us. And we do shows like this every week. The Midweek Warriors. We're going to do the watch party in a little bit. There's Sorg does the Mayhem Minutes. There's after shows for pretty much everything you could think of. Wrestling-wise, mainstream wrestling-wise, here on Wrestling Mayhem Show. So find us on iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere you can find us. We're pretty much everywhere. We're on Daily Motion now, so if you're looking for us there. For myself, I am at Eamon2Please. That is Mad Mike 4883 at Mainstream Matt from Matt Carlins and. One T, yeah, it was one T, Matt, like a wrestling mat, we get kind of.
It's a little joke.
It's a little joke. Antonio Garza is at Cero2K, if I'm not mistaken.
DW Revolution.
That's right. Duh.
Yeah.
I always you got so many names. I
know.
But for all of us, that is this week's
Midweek Lucha.